Welcome back to Maverick Beat as we continue to explore the power of co-designing sexual and reproductive health programs with youth in different parts of the world. Join me as I head to Vietnam, where a love voyage is just getting underway. In Vietnam, there's no shortage of available contraception, but deeply held cultural stigma around sex means that young people feel judgment and shame when trying to access contraception, meaning they often don't. While adolescent pregnancy has been on the decline worldwide, Vietnam has not followed this trend and has one of the highest rates of unintended adolescent pregnancy in the world. On average, a young woman in Vietnam will undergo 2.5 abortions in her lifetime. With limited research into why contraception is so rarely accessed despite its availability, PSI wanted to journey deep into the hearts and minds of young people to understand how social norms and culture impacted their sexual decisions, and then to engage those youth in designing solutions that would help break down those cultural barriers. This journey turned into a voyage, a love voyage. Through deep partnership with young people in Hanoi, the project team discovered the importance of creating an enabling environment where youth felt safe to be curious and, once armed with correct information, safe to access contraception. Through the Love Voyage project, the team designed sexual and reproductive health learning events, gathered a team of gurus who would act as relatable subject matter experts, opened a Facebook page, and built out a youth-led sexual and reproductive health network to open up healthy dialogue about sex and contraception. In this segment, we meet Amy Dornbush, the Maverick member who funded Love Voyage, and Hoya Nguyen, country director for PSI Vietnam. They will talk about the strength of human-centered design in creating a lasting impact on young people, and will share how the success of this project has boosted the participants' self-efficacy and inspired them to continue the voyage long after the project closed. Let's tune in.
Vietnam is an incredibly exciting country. Yeah, it's one of the fastest growing countries in the world, and for the first time in the history of Vietnam, women have a real shot. It's a reality. They can go to a 4-year university and graduate and become almost anything that they want. And so why is this getting in the way, right?
The very core problem is because sex still a taboo in Vietnam. The youth was not comfortable proactively looking for information, discussing about it. Imagine if a young female student come to see the OB/GYN doctor, for example, it starts being questionable. What is it for? And people will feel very shame if they was perceived as they having sex before marriage. Still, that kind of thinkings and perception will prevent the youth from accessing to the information, start learning about it.
The hypothesis going into this project is, well, women are too embarrassed to go into pharmacies to buy condoms. So we started developing a contraceptive kit that was discreet. And we thought that was going to solve the problem. And it turns out that it doesn't matter how it's packaged. The pharmacists are just inherently not friendly towards the youth. They're judgmental. So what did we do? We just went around it, turned around and said, we are not going to solve for that problem. We're going to solve for the dialogue and, what we can with the assets that we have available.
Sexual activity is a basic human right. From the beginning, the project was designed to be very focused on sexual and reproductive health to reduce unintended pregnancy. But we soon realized that there's other value, which is very important for the youth to understand before they learn about technical knowledge.
We decided to implement a new process that largely Vietnam, not just PSI, but the government and other nonprofit groups there had previously not used, which was really a human-centered design approach. The students kind of ran with it. We created this all-encompassing program called Love Voyage.
They have enabled to reach about 13 million youth online.
There were and continue to be what the Love Voyage team calls gurus. So, these are doctors, these are professionals in their field that can really answer some of those more technical questions about particular contraceptives or other things of that nature.
The most impressive event, which I believe the youth group are very proud of, was the Love Festival. They been able to organize in the public, which is the first ever public event on this social and reproductive health organized by the youth in Hanoi to gather, including civil society organizations, businesses, and government agency comes and join and support them. With all the equipment and support from the project, we've been able to set up that youth network, mobilizing the youth leader from 17 universities in Hanoi and different groups. And more importantly, after the project ended, they still very committed to maintain this network and planning for us to continue.
These are future leaders. These are future event planners. I mean, we enhanced skills. We created a community of people who have really deep friendships now. There's thousands of youth that we've touched through these events that now feel comfortable talking about sex. Those are just a few things, but I think those are incredible outcomes as well.
The impact of the projects really went beyond the scope of the project itself, because now we have this youth network. We have the PSI team here become much more experienced applying the human-centered design approach and tools and methodology, which is applicable to many other projects that we are working on.
I was only able to go to Vietnam for the kickoff because of the pandemic, but luckily for me, I did scoop up my 3-year-old and my 6-month-old, and we decided to spend 6 weeks in Vietnam. I did get to spend some time immersing in the community and sort of understanding a little bit better. The workshops with the youth were incredibly eye-opening. I've used these design workshops before in the corporate world, and it was just really incredible to see it being facilitated in an environment that was going to benefit from a philanthropic purpose.
The teams also noted the differences working with the Maverick compared to other donors. The flexibility, the support is clearly adding values because it allows us to be more innovative, creative, and also have space for fail and learn.
I was early in my journey in the philanthropy world, not having a lot of contacts, not having a big network. How do I roll my sleeves up and get involved with something with international development in the global community while also having the support and resources to engage in something meaningful? And Maverick Collective just occupies a really unique juncture in that regard. You have the opportunity to really be involved and to shape the direction and the hypothesis of the project, but you have all the resources there to support you. So you don't have to have a career of international development or service to be involved in a project like this.
I have to highlight the importance of Maverick. Amy Johnsburg, her financial support was so important, but more importantly, we have her accompany along the process. Her passionate knowledge and her commitment to support these problems, addressing the problems in Vietnam, really inspire the youth group.
This project had an undeniable impact on the youth in Vietnam and has opened the door for years of impact as Love Voyage team members and gurus have committed to moving the project forward. The power of human-centered design in building a program by youth for youth is evident. In an environment where attitude has an impact, building a project through the lens of those who will be served by it means you can tackle issues at the root instead of just slapping on a temporary solution. Giving adolescents the access they need to a safe, open learning environment where all their questions are fair game means they can grow into adults with agency, choice, and voice. And having a Maverick member with such a deep understanding of business practices and such a mind towards sustainability has helped set this project on track for the long term. Amy, you are truly a Maverick, sharing your gifts in bold, risk-forward ways to help others build the world they want to see. In both Binti Biashara and Love Voyage, we've seen how working with adolescents and young women to design programs that meet their true questions and needs ensures those programs are more relevant, resonant, and effective in helping them thrive. And with Maverick members ready to roll up their sleeves and contribute every type of talent they have to offer, and PSI project teams replete with expertise and effort, there's no doubt that these projects have delivered remarkable impact. Thank you for tuning in to our latest episode of Maverick Beat. It is an honor to host you on this virtual journey and to witness the impact that Maverick Collective and PSI are having on women and girls, you, and philanthropy. See you soon.